Rodents have got themselves a bit of a bad reputation throughout history, and in some ways that's kind of understandable. But that's only part of their story. How many of you had hamsters or guinea pigs, or maybe even a chinchilla as pets? And everyone seems to love capybaras, the largest rodent alive in the world today, about the size of a Labrador or a golden retriever. But what if I told you that rodents used to get much, much bigger than that? Let's find out. The animals we'll be talking about today are native to South America. Diverse groups of animals can be found there now, from sloths and monkeys to caimans and jaguars. But before around 3 million years ago, when North and South America first became connected by land and animals could migrate freely between them, the continent of South America was isolated by oceans. During this time, a unique collection of animals lived in South America, including armadillos and glyptodonts, giant ground sloths, and the appropriately named terror birds. But only a single group of rodents were known to live there. These are called the Caviomorphs, which loosely translated means guinea pig shaped. Caviomorphs are quite an unusual group and include guinea pigs, capybaras, tree porcupines, and chinchillas among their roughly 250 living species. Also an animal called Myocastor that seems to have evolved convergently to look like a beaver, even though the two are not closely related at all. How these animals got to South America is a bit of a mystery. It had been isolated from the other continents since the breakup of the supercontinent Gondwana, beginning in the middle of the Jurassic period. By around 80 million years ago, during the late Cretaceous, South America and Africa had become entirely separated, and it became finally isolated from Antarctica during the mid-Paleocene, roughly around 55 million years ago. But the oldest known fossil rodent in South America, Caenornis, found in the Peruvian Amazon, is from the mid-Eocene, only around 41 million years ago. While we don't know for sure, one theory is that they may have colonized South America from Africa, where their closest living relatives are from. It's possible that some animals may have been swept out to sea on large pieces of driftwood and rafted across the Atlantic Ocean. Sadly, we can never really know for sure what happened. Caenornis was quite a small species, weighing around 40 grams, about the same as a golf ball. But larger sizes soon started to evolve. As we've already mentioned, capybaras are a member of this group, and they are the largest species of rodent alive on Earth today, weighing in at around 40 to 50 kilograms. But even that is not even close to how big these animals used to get. You might think that giant members of this group would belong to the evolutionary lineage leading to capybaras, the largest living members of this group. And you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. Some members of that lineage, like Fugotherium, did get massive, far bigger than any rodent alive today. But the largest species actually seem to belong to the chinchilla superfamily, with their closest living relative thought to be the pacarana. In the 1990s, the fossilized teeth and bones of a giant rodent were found in Venezuela. The animal, called Phoberomys, was huge, far bigger than anything similar that had been found before. Later, in the mid-2000s, the skull of an even bigger species was found in Uruguay. This new species, called Josephorrhoartigasia, was from the Pliocene and Pleistocene epochs, making it between 2 and 4 million years old. Geological evidence suggested that that place at that time was likely a wetland, similar to a river delta or estuary, the same kind of environment that modern capybaras live in. Early estimates of their size were enormous, placing Phoberomys at around 740 kilograms in weight, and Josephorrhoartigasia at a staggering 1,200 kilograms, making these species comparable to bison in size. But these early estimates proved to be controversial though. Later research came back and reviewed them, and found that they were likely too big. The fragmented nature of the fossils and some strange body proportioning that they show likely threw off the earlier estimates. They revised these down to around 150 kilograms for Phoberomys, and about 480 kilograms for Josephorrhoartigasia. Cases like this are quite common in paleontology, where our estimates of the prehistoric world and what we understand about it improve over time as we gain new knowledge. As a side note, if you want to know more about how we work out these estimates for extinct species, please let me know down in the comments and maybe I can make a video about it. Anyway, back to the main video. Despite the downgrade, these numbers are still very large. At 150 kilograms, Phoboromus would have weighed about the same as a lion, and at 480 kilograms, Josephoartogasia would be bigger than the average male grizzly bear, or around the average for a male polar bear. That's also around 10 times heavier than the average capybara, the largest living rodent alive today. The fact that Phoboromus and Josephoartogasia are so much bigger than any other closely related or comparable animal is part of what makes estimating their true size so difficult. But this leads to another question. How did they get so big? This is a very difficult question to answer, because the truth is that we just don't know for sure. The evolution of body size is very heavily researched and discussed in scientific works, and seems to have many complex and conflicting influences. Changes in global climate, particularly related to temperature changes, are frequently cited. There's a theory that in colder climates, species will tend to evolve to larger size. This is as a way to conserve heat by reducing the ratio of their surface area to their volume. So, as temperatures decreased over tens of millions of years throughout the Cenozoic period, body sizes might well have increased on average in response. South America specifically was influenced by several major environmental changes during the evolutionary history of this group of rodents. These include the formation of ice sheets over Antarctica, the uplift of the Andes mountain range, and the subsequent formation of the Amazon River basin in the north and the dry arid pampas in the south. The creation of diverse habitats over the continent would undoubtedly have led to evolution experimenting with different ecologies, and this may well result in the evolution of different body sizes between lineages. One of my favourite theories related to this is that the giant rodents, like Phoboromus and Josephoartogasia, would have achieved large size and occupied a similar niche to the one occupied by hippos in Africa, as other large semi-aquatic herbivores were otherwise absent from South America at the time. Of course, that all ended when Pablo Escobar got rich. It would also be similar to the niche occupied by the largest rodents alive today, like capybaras and beavers. Animals that live in water are able to achieve larger size than those that live on land, as the water provides them extra support against gravity. South America is notable for its unique and diverse set of prehistoric animals, and for many of those reaching gigantic size. Giant ground sloths were walking the continent at around the same time as the giant rodents, and much earlier than that, during the Cretaceous period, dinosaurs also reached their largest size in South America. The giants Argentinosaurus, Patagotitan, and Dreadnoughtus, as well as other truly giant sauropod dinosaurs, are all known from South America. The more we look into the past, the more we find ourselves facing new questions. Despite many new discoveries and ever-increasing knowledge and understanding, for now we seem to have more interesting questions than we do definitive answers. It's fascinating that creatures we often associate with being small used to get so big. This is just one way that the prehistoric world was different from ours, and we would never have known any of this if not for fossils and the study of paleontology. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will also consider subscribing to my channel. I have a PhD in evolutionary biology and spent 10 years at university learning about the history and diversity of life on Earth. I plan on making more videos on these kinds of topics, and if people want, I could make more videos on how scientists estimate the size of extinct creatures, or maybe even a whole series on the evolution of body size in general. If that sounds good to you, or if you have any ideas of your own, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for your time.